Good day, my name is Conrad Conradie and I'm a multi-product legal advisor from SEESA Labour offices.
Good day, my name is Brandsen. I am also a multi-product legal advisor from SEESA Labour.
Today we will be discussing Section 21 and what an employer has to do in these situations. Daniel, can you please start by telling us more about the Section 21?
Well, Conrad, Section 21 of the Labour Relations Act deals with unions that request organizational rights within the workplace of the employer. This will usually happen when the union has numerous members within the workplace of an employer. Section 21 sets out the procedure that unions must follow in order to exercise these organizational rights. Now, the union can seek to exercise sufficient rights, which will be Section 12, access to the workplace, Section 13, which is deductions of trade union subscriptions or levies, and then also Section 15, which is leave for trade union activities. Or they can seek the aforementioned rights as well as majority rights, which will then also include Section 14, which is trade union representatives, better known as shop stewards, and then also Section 16, disclosure of information.
Okay, so a union cannot just come into employer's premises and send the employer a letter that they want to have a meeting to discuss increases or other conditions of employment.
That is an interesting point and something that actually happens quite often. Unions will send employers an email requesting a meeting to discuss matters between the employer and the employees. Now, the union should inform the employer in writing that it seeks to exercise their organizational rights. Now, this notice is sent to the employer and should be accompanied by a certified copy of the trade union certificate of registration. Now, the union must also state on the notice the workplace in which it seeks to exercise these rights, and then further the representativeness of the union in that workplace and the rights that they seek to exercise. Then, when the meeting is held between the union and the employer with the assistance of a SEESA legal advisor, it will be determined whether a union has sufficient members to be representative in the workplace. Now, should the union have sufficient or majority representation in the workplace, a recognition agreement will be drafted by the SEESA legal advisor.
Okay, now what will happen if a union does not have enough members to exercise these rights they are requesting?
Well, Conrad, should the union not have sufficient representation in the workplace, they will not receive any rights in the workplace. The union may then recruit more members, and should they have sufficient representation, they may request another meeting with the employer. What also happens from time to time is that the employer and union disagrees at the meeting about the union's representation in the workplace. Should this happen, the union will most likely refer the matter to the CCMA as a dispute.
Okay, what will happen if an employer refuses to meet with the union for the Section 21 meeting that has been requested?
This is an important question, Conrad. An employer must meet with the union within 30 days after receiving the written request from the union. We always advise our clients that this needs to be done as soon as possible. However, should an employer blatantly refuse to meet with the union, they will definitely refer the matter to the CCMA for assistance. The CCMA will then send a notice of set down to both parties, and the meeting will then take place at the CCMA, and an award will be made by the commissioner who facilitated the meeting.
That is interesting. So the CCMA can award the union the organizational rights then?
That is correct, Conrad. The commissioner can give an award that stipulates the rights that the union may exercise in the workplace. It is important that employers take notice of Section 21, subsection A, capital letter A. This section makes provision for a commissioner to grant a union majority rights, even though a union only has sufficient representation. That means where a union already has Section 12, 13, and 15 rights, the commissioner can award them Section 14 and 16 rights, which is the majority rights.
Now, what does an employer have to do when the union members are declining in the workplace and they no longer have enough membership to qualify for the organizational rights?
Interestingly enough, Conrad, an employer cannot just tell the union that they no longer have sufficient representation in the workplace and that they no longer have any rights. The employer should inform the union in writing of the decline in their membership. The union is then afforded 30 days in order for them to rectify this issue. Should the union be successful, the union will still continue to enjoy their rights. Now, should the union be unsuccessful, then the union will no longer be able to exercise their rights. Now, the recognition agreement will usually have a clause that prescribes the process. That is why it is of utmost importance that a legal advisor drafts the recognition agreement.
Right, that is unfortunately all we have time for today. For more information regarding these matters, please contact your local SEESA offices for any assistance. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Conrad.